Okay.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our exhibit comment night. It is April the 20th, 2023. First thing I'm going to do is play this video that I created from all the images that a bunch of you sent me for our one-day Tampa Bay Camera Club. Had about 120 images sent. Wow. And which is awesome. I put that together a little different than I normally do it because we wanted to, record where people were. So your names, those of you sent images in, your name is going to be on there and the places. I didn't put the name on each slide because it would have taken me a lot longer. This took me about 3-4 hours to put together. So basically what I do is I've got a slide at the beginning with your name and the places that you shot, and then your images come up after that. So I'm going to go ahead and post this on the website either later today or tomorrow. And you can, if you want to go back and look at it and you can see a little bit more about, watch a little slower. It's going to take about 10 minutes because that's how many images there are. But so I wanted to get it started first. So we're going to go ahead and do that first before we do anything else. And then we'll get into the announcements real quick. We have 70 images to go through tonight. So we're going to try to push things along as quickly as we can. I want to welcome everybody's here. We got a visitor, Jan. She's lurking over here at the bottom, and just say hi to her. And,
hi, Jan.
Hey, Jan. And we will, let me go ahead and start. I'm going to share my screen and start this video up real quick. Advanced video. Share. And hold on a second. Let me get the video up.
Has it warmed up for you, Doris, while she's doing that?
He's muted.
Oops. Wait. Stop.
You are not sharing, Lynn.
Yeah, hold on a second. I made it start before I should have there. Let me try this again. I have to do this advanced thing now, and it's a little different than what I'm used to. There we go. Now, can you see it?
It'll be
black screen.
Yep.
Just a black screen, yeah.
Just
okay.
black.
Yep, that's it. It's good. Okay, here goes.
Well worth your 4 hours and well worth our 10 minutes. Good job.
Thank you so much, Lynn, for doing that. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Oh,
That
thank
was
you.
wonderful.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
enjoyed that.
Good work, everybody.
I want to thank everybody that, that contributed, and hopefully we can get more people to do it next year. Because you can see we had stuff from Boston and, we had stuff from all over Florida. And so it was great to have all that, all those, even if you just, I was hoping some people just sent me one and that was fine. So, yeah, hopefully we could do this again next year. Okay, let's get on to the announcements real quick. The big one is our education night for this week has been changed to this Sunday in 3 days on the 23rd. Rick Salmon is going to be our speaker. If you guys are familiar with him, he is called the godfather of photography, and he's known for his salmonisms, which I'm sure he'll lay a few of those on us, but he's going to be talking about travel photography, which is one of our assignments for later in this year, which is in September. So he will be doing this at 3 o'clock on Sunday. We will record it and I will send out the recording link to everybody. So if you're not able to come on Sunday, but I would love to have as many people come as possible. And if you have anybody that you would like to invite, please let them know, and we'll give them your copy of your link, or ask, have them email me and I will send them a link. Because Rick is a well-known photographer. We don't want to have 4 people sitting there watching it if at all possible. So
Lynn, can I suggest that you send a reminder email on Sundays, since people aren't
yeah, I
used
will.
to
Yeah, I
stuff?
will.
And what about the link, Lynn?
The link will go out tonight. I didn't want to send out 2.
Okay.
How soon,
Yeah,
till the
so,
recording goes out?
yeah.
Is this the one that's taking the place on the 30th?
No,
you
it's
have-
it's not on the 30th anymore. That was the day that it was supposed to be, but he mistakenly put down the wrong month. And he's got something else he's got to do on the 30th. So we changed it to this Sunday, which is the 23rd.
At
So
what
it is
time?
this Sunday, the 23rd at 3 o'clock, guys. Listen to me.
Yeah, I'll be driving to Georgia at that time.
But it'll be recorded so you can watch it if you're not able to be here. But if there's any way you can, it's going to last probably about 60 minutes to 90 minutes at the most. And so, yeah, I would appreciate as many of y'all to come as possible. Yeah.
So Lynn, what about Tech Night next week? What
Nothing,
happens to that
no,
night?
nothing.
Okay,
This is
very
it.
good.
This is a replacement. Yeah.
thank
There will
you.
not be any meeting next Thursday night.
Thank you.
Okay, what else? Our next outing is going to be on the 29th. So we don't have anything on Thursday, but we're going to be doing something that next Saturday, not tomorrow, or not in 2 days, but next Saturday on the 29th. We're going to do the sunflower field that you guys, some of you went last year. I was there today. The flowers have been started blooming about a week or so ago, and they have probably 6 to 8 or more varieties. Last year they had 3 kinds of sunflowers. They have a lot more sunflowers now, big ones, small ones. I mean, there's some that are only they're like little bushes of sunflowers. I've never seen anything like this. They've got sunflowers that look like like dahlias, and sunflowers that look like marigold. I mean, it's crazy how many different kinds he planted this year. The zinnias have not started blooming yet, but they may by the 29th, we'll see. But there are plenty of sunflowers. If we wait any longer, they won't be any good. So we've got to do it. So the 26th at 8 o'clock in the morning.
29.
Yeah.
29.
I'm sorry, the 29th. The 29th at 8 o'clock in the morning. They're going to open up an hour early for us. And as last year, they're going to charge us $100 for the whole group. So depending on how many people come, we'll divide it up, the $100 up, and that's how much it's going to cost you to participate. I think everybody paid like $8 last year or something like that. Hopefully more people will come this time. But it is a beautiful field. They planted it in rows this year, which they did not do previously. So it'll be a lot easier to get around in the field. So that, yes, they basically planted the sunflowers in the rows that they had the strawberry plants planted. And then they they pulled the strawberry plants out when they were dead, and they pulled the plastic up. So the rows are still there with all the plants and the sunflowers planted in them. So it's actually pretty easy to get around in it. So it doesn't make as pretty a, long, big field flowers, but I think as the bigger ones get, the taller ones get bigger, it'll look more like a full field of flowers.
And
So-
are we going to eat afterwards
Yeah, we'll go to the taco place maybe afterwards, like we did last year.
and shock them with our numbers?
Yeah, they'll have a heart attack when we get there. It depends on how long we can stay there for a couple hours if we want. We ended up going to the taco place barely open by the time we got there. So, but
Can
yeah,
you send the address, Lynn, again?
yeah, I'll put an announcement on the website. So yeah, it's the same place on McIntosh Road. It's Three Sons Farms. And yeah, they actually have a listing in Google, so you can look them up that way. But I will put a map and everything on the website. In terms of our assignments coming up, next month, May, is bird portrait. So a bird, yeah, we don't see a bird on a stick, but this is bird on a stick month. And then our education night next month is going to be Joshua Cripps, who is one of the young up and coming. He's more than up and coming. He's come. He's one of the really good young photographers out there, and he's going to be talking to us about telephoto landscapes, which is our assignment for July. So he's.
What day is that, Lynn?
Pardon?
What day was it? Sorry.
It's on our normal. That's our May education night. Our normal education night next month. I want you to mark your calendars because we've got two things set up for the end of the year and for next year, so that you know ahead of time. Our annual awards and holiday party will be on December the 3rd at Felipe Park again in Safety Harbor. Details to come later. Just mark down that date. And we've already set up photo camp for next year as well. It's going to be on March the 1st through the 3rd of 2024. And we are unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we have to go back to Rainbow Springs. We tried to get something closer and it's impossible. We were on the website at 8 a.m. the day that we had to book those, and we could not get any sites. So and we were going to try. We tried for Hillsborough River State Park, impossible. So we're going to be back at. We've got 5 tent spaces only again for Rainbow Springs. We could not get any RV spaces. We on the waiting list in case any come up, but and if we do, we'll let y'all know. But right now it's all tents again. Okay, any questions on any of that? I have a big, huge request from you guys. With a large number of submissions that we're getting, I am still getting people doing a couple things that we need to not do anymore. Number one is, please be sure to, I'm going to share my screen real quick again. Here's the information. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Please, this is how I need you to rename your files. It needs to be your photos name.jpg, and the general needs to be G, and my, and then your photos name. This is so I could sort them when I have to download all these images from your emails, which takes a lot of time. Then I have to sort them and get them into assign in general. And if I have to go and go back to your email to figure out what is assigned and what's general, it takes a lot more time. Also, a bunch of you have been sending them to my personal email address, which is not a horrible thing. But if something happened to me and I could not be here and did not have access to my email, your images are lost in my email. So you need to send them to the club email address, which is mytbcc@gmail.com, so that all that stuff is over there. So if something happens to me, Jim and Robert have access to that email address so they can get to them. So yeah, stop sending all this stuff to my personal email address. You can still send me questions there, but please, the submissions need to go to the TBCC email address. That will save me a lot of time. Also, you can send them. You don't have to wait to 5 minutes before midnight on Tuesday to send them to me. You could send them, you could send me next month's, submissions tomorrow if you want. That's fine. Just put it's May's submission. Because everybody's waiting to the last minute, which, we have a tendency to do. The other issue is if you're going to be out of town, send them to me, send them to me before you leave. That's fine. You can watch the recording to see, see how you did and what your comments were. Any questions on all that?
Nope.
Okay.
I have a question. This is my photo just instead of my photo's name, right?
Yeah, I fixed yours, but you need to fix them and do the way I asked to, so that they're, everybody that sent them in incorrectly, I have fixed them, and so they're all right, but I don't have time to do that. I need you guys to do it right to start off with, and that'll save me a lot of time. Appreciate it. I mean, if we were only getting 20 entries, it wouldn't be a big deal, but we're getting 70 plus entries a month, and it's just taking too much time. So you take 2 seconds and do it right, 2 minutes, and you save me a lot of time on my end.
Is A dash my photo, put my photo, then put the photo name, or
just put A dash, then your photo name. You put in your file numbers and all that. We don't need that. Just change it to
okay, got it.
and the name, and that's all you have to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that way I can sort them so much easier. Okay, any questions on anything else? And Jim, you have any comments?
No, sorry, I missed a bunch of that. I had to take an emergency phone call that I just hung up from. So,
Okay. Robert, where are you? There you are.
I'm good. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hey, anybody else?
Robert, I miss you.
He always needs you.
We'll
She
talk
doesn't
later.
that I couldn't solve for her, so you're gonna have to help her. Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments?
Hey, Robert, check your text message on your phone.
Or you? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started on the exhibit stuff. We have a lot of them to get through, and we don't want to be here until midnight. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Diane is going to be our third judge. And Diane, if it's yours, you just score at 0. Okay.
Or 9.
Or 9. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. All right. Let's get rid of all this other stuff here. And you see my Lightroom?
Yes, Dan.
Okay.
We see lots of sunflowers.
I just wanted to, I put that up here so you could see. I went and shot with this. These were taken with my phone this afternoon in terrible light. But this is all the variety that they've got right there. This is what the field looks like right here. But yeah, it's they got quite a few of them. And there's a lot more that haven't even come up. Like at this one here, this one still hasn't, all these bigger, darker ones haven't even started to bloom yet. All right, let's get to the assignment. Let me get my score sheet up here. Everybody take a breath. Lynn needs to take a breath. All right. That's not what I wanted. All right. Okay. All right, let's get started on the assigned. This first one is sunrise over lake. And remember, this is long exposure landscapes, Diana, and everybody else as well. Diana? You need to send me a message.
Lynn, which Diana are you calling on?
Diana Rao. She's the.
Okay, phew.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're off the hook. Almost like a type. Okay.
Diana, you're muted. I can see your mouth moving, but we don't hear you.
Who? Oops.
I just sent it.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, the score is 21.1. And that is Helga's image.
It shows as a 22.1 on the score
sorry.
sheet.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 23.1. I always forget about the extra point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why is doing that? Okay. Next one is Chaco Canyon.
While you're there, Lynn, you might want to fix the name of the artist on that entry.
Which one? Oh,
This one.
Oops.
Oh,
I
shoot.
was doing these late at night. Okay, now I'm really getting I'm working on 2 different keyboards here, and it keeps me, we don't need to be in develop mode. There we go. Score is 24.6, and that is Jack Maniscalco's image.
Outstanding, Jack.
Next one is Cloudy Sunrise over Lake. Score is 23.7. That is Helga's image. Next one is Ocean Tumbled Rocks.
Oh, shoot.
Try again. There you go. Got it.
Lynn, can I ask a question? I'm assuming that all of these met the criteria of the one, whatever the time lapse was, right?
Yeah.
Since we're not seeing the
Yeah.
the info. Okay.
I mean, yes. The score is 24.6, and the photographer is Jan Keys. Next one is Rainier.
Oh, shoot.
Score is 24.4, and that is Diana Cahill's image. Next one is Vic Black, Sand Beach, Iceland.
Get to go full screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, let me take that back. Then I'm
Okay.
gonna send another one.
Okay.
No, go back to the Iceland one, please.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
I gotta move this chat. It's right in the middle. There you go.
Score is 25. It is Lee's image. Next one is Iceland in Motion. Score is 24.8. That's Lee's image. Next one is Veiled Waters. Oh, that one's yours, right?
Yep.
Score is 23.1. That is Diana Rouse image. Next one is Skylight all lit, or no, Skylight, Skyway all lit up. Score is 22.3. That is Diana Rouse image. Next one is Sunrise on Montanzas Bay. Score is 23.8. That is Sylvia's image. Next one is Incoming Storm. Score is 23.8. That is Susan Huckabay's image. Next one is Badlands Silhouette. Score is 24.5. That is Rod's image. Excuse me. Next one is Stormy Night Can't Dampen the Fun at the Pier. Score is 23.5. That is Sylvia's image. Next one is Skituate. I can't say this. Diane, Skituate, whatever.
Situate.
Skituate, okay.
Situate. Sorry.
Situate, okay. Those darn Indian, Native American names are terrible.
Whoops.
Score is 24.3. That is Diana Cahill. Next one is Swirling Leaves. Score is 23.4. That is Brian's image. Next one is Early Morning on Lake Wahlberg. Score is 23.1. That's Kathy Thompson's. Next one is Looking South. Score is 24.2. That is Tom's image. Next one is Pacific Partners. Score is 24. That is Tom's image. Next one is Tampa Lights. Score is 23.8. That's my image. Next one is Bridge at Low Tide. Score is 24.2. That is Brian's image. Next one is Taking the Turn. Score is 23.7. That is Chris's image, Chris Margay. Next one is Almost Sunrise. Score is 23.5. That is Nona's image. Next one is Incoming Tide. Score is 24.7. That is also Nona's image. Next one is The Colors of Dawn. Yeah. Who signed up? Why did I volunteer for this? Can somebody do the rest of it? We're doing just fine. Score is 24.8. That is my image. Next one is St. Peter Night. Score is 23.6. That is Fong's image. Next one is Sedona Skyscrapers. Try saying that fast. Score is 23. That's Kelly's image. Next one is boats in Boca Ciega Bay. Score is 23.6. That is Lourdes's image. Next one is Hillsborough River Rapids. Score is 24.6. That's Lourdes's image. Next one is Walking Bridge. Walking Bridge. Got that wrong. Score is 25. That is Lee Wynn's image. Under the 2nd Avenue Pier. Score is 24.8. That is Jan's image. Next one is My Morning Delight. Score is 23.5. That is Kathy's image. Next one is Northern Night. Score is 24.4. That is Rod's image. Next one is Tampa's Jumping Nightlife. This is altered ICM composite. Score is 23.6. That is Jim McWilliams' image. Next one is Sunset. Score is 24.8. That is Lee Wynn's image. Next one is Catching the Wind. Score is 23.6. That's Jim Hagan's image. Next one is The Palms. Score is 24.1. That is Karen's image. Next one is Quiet Times. Score is 23.2. That is Karen's image. Next one is End of Day Calm. Score is 23.7. That is Susan Huckabay's image. Next one is Mist in the Morning.
Oops. That was a mistake.
Okay. Score is 23.1. That is Jim McWilliams. Oh, that my mouth won't work. It's Jim McWilliams' image. Next one is Tampa Night Scene. Score is 25. That is Jack Maniscalco's image. Next one is A Pond in Spring. Score is 23.3. That is Valerie's image. Last assigned is Earthly Light, and this is infrared. Score is 24.7. That's Barry's image.
Hey,
Okay.
Lynn, can you tell me what my score is? I was busy paying, no, I didn't pay attention.
Yours?
I was busy doing my job.
I'll tell you at the end.
Okay,
We need to move along here.
yeah, you can text me.
Okay.
Spectacular work, people.
Yeah,
Really great.
I think we got this one, not like minimalism, huh? All right. It's, you know, it's kind of easy to figure out what anything over a second is. Okay. First one here is dry dock. Let me get rid of all this here.
The assigned are easier.
This is general, yeah.
I know, the assigned
You know
are
what you're looking
easier.
at, yeah. Score is 23.2. That's Alan's image. Next one is Steamboat on the Rhine.
Hmm.
Score is 22.6. That's Alan's image. Next one is Foreboding. Score is 24.2. That is Dom's image. Next one is Reflection in a Well. Score is 22.7. That's Lourdes's image. Next one is Blue Rim Cliffs. Score is 23.8. That is Kathy's image. Next one is Fun Snow Ride.
I know you're waiting on me. These are harder.
Yeah, they are. Everything's all, it's every, all kinds of things, different things. The score is 23.9. That is Valerie's image. Next one is Sunset Glory.
Can I ask what the score was?
The score is 23.1. That's Diana Rao's image.
No, the last one.
The last one was Valerie's was 23.9.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Next image is Snow Canopy.
Hey, I have a stupid question. Since I don't judge my own, then I only get scores from 2 people.
No, we average them. Average those two and add it.
The
as
third
your-
score becomes the average of the other 2 scores.
Okay, got it.
Score on this one is 23.8. That's Brian's image. This one is called Bride and Groom. Score is 22.1. That's Valerie's image. Next one is Gone Fishing. Score is 23.1. That is Kelly's image. Next one is Dunlin.
Who?
Dunlin, Dunlin. That's the kind of bird. Score is 23. That is Diana Cahill's image. Next one is Moonset at the Windows.
Grumble, grumble.
Score is 23.7. That's my image. Next one is Water Lily. Score is 22.9. That is Rod's image. Next one is called Leaves in Stained Glass.
Can you make it full, Lynn?
Yeah, getting there. Hitting all the wrong keys. Score is 24.2. That is Jan's image. Next one is Sunset in Sahara. Score is 23.2. That's Fong's image. Next one is Past the Sahara.
Oops.
Score is 22.8. That's Fong's image. Next one is Horseshoe Bend. Score is 23.4. That's Kelly's image. Next one is Buddy's.
Can I send you a message, Lynn?
Can you send me up?
I mean, on the chat, your thingy, on your chat thing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want me to, do this, just let me know.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Score is 22.9. That's Susan's image. Next one is A New Family. Score is 23.9. That is Lee Wynn's image. Next one is Aja. Score is 23.3. That's Helga's image. Next one is City Reflections. Score is 23.1. That's Jack's image. Next one is Save Some Space for Me. Score is 23.6. That is Lee's image. Next one is 1 equals 2. Score is 23.6. That is Nona's image. Next one is Tulips. Score is 22.8. That is Karen's image. Next one is Nature's Beauty, Altered Reality. Score is 23.1. That's Sylvia's image. Next one is Darth Revan. Score is 23.2. That's Jim Hagan's score image. Next one is Stand Aside. Score is 22.9. That's Barry's image. And last but not least, Golden Storm. This is infrared.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, Lynn.
Okay.
Premature.
Hitting that send button too quick, huh?
Yeah, no, yeah. No, yeah, I had my finger on it.
Score is 23.3, and that is Barry's image. Okay, guys, that's all of them. Let's take a 5-minute break. Get back here at started at 8:12, and we'll start doing the comments.
Hey, Lynn, can you send me my scores?
Yeah, and I'll also send Dom his. He asked for us as well. I can't answer chats, guys, while I'm doing this. It's just too many. I have too many things going on here. So.
Just couldn't wait any longer. It's tough when you get old.
You know, all these scores are listed on the website, so you could always go look at your scores on the website, guys.
I know, but I'm late. I'm lazy. I was doing my job. I was concentrating.
I was trying not to have an.
And
Hi, Robert. Robert, are you here?
Yeah, what's up?
So I need you give me suggestions. Also, my Nikon, this cap, this cap with filter together. How to open this? Before you did for me, so I just travel in a lens, maybe.
did you try, hey, Bong, did you try screwing it back onto the lens and then trying to get the cap off?
Huh?
Did you try putting it back onto the lens?
Back on the lens.
Yeah, put it back on the lens and then try to take the lens cap off the filter. Because then it would be attached to the lens and then it'll have something to hold on to. Then when you take you should be able to maybe take the cap off then.
This is in the lens, this is CIP filter. Before
Yeah,
I don't know.
Doesn't it screw onto the lens?
Yeah, so cannot take this out. So
that's
so
what
I
I'm saying,
just,
but try putting it back onto the lens, screw it back onto the lens, and then try taking the cap off.
before in the lens, I
try that
couple times, not
okay.
work.
Okay. Robert, you got any ideas? I told her soap and water or a knife.
No, what you said was pretty much what I would say. Put it back on the on the lens first.
On the lens, okay.
Yeah, and then try to get it
Okay.
off. Because the problem is the filter is so thin that you have nothing to hold on to on it. So it's hard to get it
Okay.
apart. But if it's holding on to the lens, then you may be able to get the cap off.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay. I had to, it took me an hour to, come up with that idea. She asked me about this before we started.
Okay, thank
Didn't
you.
even think about that.
Okay,
Lynn, I sent you a chat about, I sent photos for the,
Yeah, I know. I
Tampa Bay thing.
don't know. I know I got them. I don't know what the heck, where they were, because I went through all the stupid. I'm really sorry about that, Victoria.
That's all right.
Yeah, I know
They
I
weren't the
got them,
greatest.
and I don't know what happened when I had. Problem is I had all those coming in as well as the submissions,
Right.
and then
No, I had
then I got a notice from Google that I was running out of space on the stupid account, so I had to go clean out the emails. And I know I didn't get rid of yours, but this has been a crazy week.
No worries. I'd gone back
Apologize.
and reread the instructions about send something that sends a place. So I had to take out some of my submissions and put in other things I wasn't as pleased with. So it's fine.
Yeah, I did get them. I think they got lost in the shuffle somehow.
No worries.
Okay. Then I ran into a problem trying to save the video that I created yesterday. And it turned
that's
out that
scary.
for whatever reason, PowerPoint won't save to my external hard drives. I don't know.
Oh,
It would only save to, once I told it to save to my computer, it was fine, but I don't ever save anything to my computer. Everything goes onto my external hard drives. And I've tried, 50 different ways to get it to save. And then I thought, you know what? I bet you it's not going, normally when something wants to go to my external hard drive and I haven't given it permission, it asks me for permission. And it didn't ask
so you're able to move it over after that?
Yeah, I was able to get it over onto the computer.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, weird. Yeah, like I said, this week has been kind of weird. All kinds of crazy things have been happening. So, like, my internet keeps going down. I was praying that it wouldn't happen tonight. And I think it has something to do with the electrical connection to my FiOS box.
Well, I've got one even better for you. The computer I was using my Lightroom stuff on, I hadn't been on for so long that it was 8.1. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It's not supported. It's like, dang.
Time to coming to the into 1923 and get your subscription. What is it, $9 or $10 a month, Jim, for the basic photo?
Yeah,
Thank you.
photographer's package is $9.99 a month.
I've been paying it. I just hadn't, the computer wasn't
upgrade it.
supporting it.
Well, yeah, your computer probably cannot support what's going on right now. I mean, Jack just had to buy a whole brand new computer because his kept dying every time he tried to do anything in Lightroom. It's all these programs have got so much AI in them now, artificial intelligence in their programming, that they're all taking a lot of RAM. And so if your computer doesn't have a lot of RAM, you're kind of SOL.
Well, I thought I did have, but it's also still running the Windows 8.1.
Yeah.
That was the thing, 8.1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, what's Windows on now, like 13?
They said had to get
11,
at least
I think
11.
it's 11. But I do have a question. My Photoshop, it just flashes like a disco light. It doesn't work at all. Lightroom works, but Photoshop doesn't.
You get the same issue.
That's what yours was doing?
No, it wasn't doing anything. It wouldn't accept it. And after I tried to do all the stuff I did with that, then now even the computer won't come up.
Oh, no, it's a white screen that flashes. But like I say, Lightroom works. I just haven't called IT yet.
Does anybody know that movie, which movie it was with? I think it may have been Frozen, Disney movie called Frozen.
I remember that one.
And it said, in the song in there, it says, let it go, let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Yeah.
Victoria.
Yes, Victoria.
That
You know how I
Windows
like to
8,
hang on to things.
Windows 8, let it go.
I know.
Those 8.1, I'd let that go.
Let it go.
Let it
I
go.
don't let it go. I take it out back, blindfold it, and shoot it.
I don't think I have a choice. They did it for me.
Yeah.
I actually
Alright.
still have one of the 4 machines on my desk is an 8.1 because there's still some software in that won't run on anything new that I still use. So I still use that machine for the stuff that won't run on anything new.
Oh, really? Well, see, even since I tried to update the Lightroom and stuff like that, mine hasn't been able to work.
我各冰箱也老泡坏了。
Just so you guys know, just as a point of reference, if your Lightroom will not update anymore, okay, point of reference, go ahead and download the camera raw from the cloud. Download the camera raw. The camera raw will be the updated version of just like Lightroom. It'll work. It's just that you're going to go through camera raw instead of going through Lightroom.
I tried doing that too, but does it not accept 8.1 either?
Well, if it'll download, if the camera raw will download, and it'll let you know whether or not you can update it.
It wasn't.
Hey,
If it lets you know that you can't update it, then let's go back to the Frozen movie.
Yeah.
I have a question. Has anybody, I just upgraded, I just updated my Mac computer to the new operating system, and I haven't been on Lightroom since last time you and I worked, Robert. Is there, did anybody have any problems updating from there, or have you had any problems? Lynn, I know you use Mac.
Nothing. No problems.
No,
Hey, Victoria.
Yes.
Adobe Camera Raw is not supported on Windows 8.1.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I hate doing it though.
Okay, guys, we got a lot of images to get through here. It's already after 8:15. Let's get rolling here. So this is our first one. This one is Helga's image.
Couple things right here. First of all, the image is crooked
Phil,
on the horizon.
Yeah, there's a slanted horizon. I was curious about that myself.
So I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, that's off. Is Helga here in the chat anywhere? Okay, if she's not, on the right-hand side where the horizon ends and it starts to go into the clouds, I'm not sure if that is helping her out at all. So it would be a matter of a crop at that point.
Yeah, Helga is here, but she's muted. But yes, it just becomes an indistinguishable blur on the right side of the frame. Looks like a fog bank or something.
Yeah. So it's not helping us out at all.
How's that?
That's a lot better.
A lot better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whose shot was this?
This is
Jack.
Jack.
That's Jack's shot.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know. It was okay. Great. Good. Okay. I'll shut up.
I just thought this was a spectacular shot.
Yeah, where was this, Jack?
Chaco Canyon in New Mexico.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
That's,
really
I
wanna
only
learn
think
how
I
to
would,
do
and
that.
I've done a lot of these, and I only think D Hayes is your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Clarity. It just seemed
That's,
a little too light.
That rock formation is called Fajada Butte in the background.
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
Diana, I got a friend that'll take you
No.
out there on one of his workshops.
What is the source of the light in the lower right corner?
Sun?
Yeah.
That's a
a city.
meteor.
City
I-
light, city
That is-
light, probably.
That is a very distant city over the horizon.
Okay.
I
I
hope
like my
that-
answer better.
I
think
hope
it's
that
one of the FEMA prisons.
I hope that one of our camera outings at some point could do, I mean, because we can't get this in Tampa. but
You can, the Milky Way is over Tampa, every night.
yeah, but so is every other glaring light. So
and clouds and everything else. Yeah,
Right.
you gotta go to someplace like New Mexico or Colorado or someplace at the right time of the year in the summertime. And then pray that, and then on the new moon when there's no moon, because last time we were there was too much moon and we couldn't see this. So
yeah, that's beautiful, Jack.
Thank you.
this one is Helga's as well.
Is anybody familiar with the Curtis effect?
No.
Does anybody remember that?
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
do.
Do you see it?
on the
What
side.
is it? On the right-hand side, that little bit of cloud up there? Or whatever that dark,
Darks or something.
that dark spot?
No. Right side of the frame, just above the orange clouds. Follow
Yeah.
the right edge of the frame up.
That box.
That
Almost
little black
there,
thing.
almost right there.
Yep.
It looks like the edge of a roof.
Yep,
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
I didn't know what it was.
Oops. We've
What's
all
a
done that.
Curtis? What did you call that, Jim? A Curtis effect?
Yeah, we used to have a
Had to
member named
be.
Curtis that always
Oh.
had random things sticking in on the side of the frame that he
No.
never knew was there.
Beautiful picture and then something random. Like a
Now,
foot.
I'll ask you to do one thing to this one. After you
Yeah.
take out, you don't have to take out that little piece. Go down to your calibrations and run up your reds. That's all I ask. There you go. Just
Yeah.
a little bit. Doesn't have to be that much, but just enough to bring out those values, and you may go with the greens as well. A little bit of the greens.
Yeah, guys, this is Robert's favorite panel in Lightroom.
Yeah.
I use it on every single picture unless
And
it's
see-
black and white.
It doesn't overdo the image overall, just does the specific color values, and it works really well on sunsets and sunrises.
Now you tell me. No, I'm kidding.
It's learning for today. This one is Jan's. The only thing I see here, it's just a little too bright.
That's very nice.
Yep.
I love the color combination throughout this one.
I know you
Yeah.
brought down the highlights, but I'm gonna ask you to push up the white. No, keep the highlights down. Ask you to push up the whites just a tad to keep that ethereal effect that was
Yeah.
going on there.
Yeah, we're still good. We're not blowing anything out right
No,
now.
not blowing anything. Is this Jan?
This is Jan's.
Jan here? Jan is not here.
It's not.
Okay, because I was gonna blast Jan later on.
Well, just, you can blast. her. You don't
Which
miss
Jan?
recording.
Which Jan are you asking about?
Jan Keys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she'll watch the recording.
Okay. I'll just blast her later.
Oh, let me go back to this one and reset it. Hold on. Okay. This one is Diana Cahill.
Diana Cahill is here.
Yep.
Did I hear you?
Yeah.
Did I hear yes?
Yes, I'm here.
Diana, you titled this
Rainier.
Rainier.
Yeah.
All right, but Rainier is real dull right now.
This is what Tom said you were gonna say. We can't let Tom be right.
Tom said I would say something about this.
Tom said you were gonna say too many stars, not enough landscape.
Well, no, the stars are great, except that you titled it Rainier, and it's all about the stars and the Milky
Okay, fair
Way.
enough.
So
Yeah.
just bring up the value on just take a brush and go over those white areas.
Yeah.
Just bring that up just a little bit, so that the Milky Way is now lighting the lighting Mount Rainier. Go give it a little bit more across the way there. You know, in that little white. It's just a white area. That's all. Right there you go. See, now the Milky Way has the Mount Rainier has some sort of object to bring that light to. You
Yeah.
can't go in and talk about a particular subject, give it a title, and then refer to something else as your lead.
So
Okay.
And
she's
You-
called-
do me
Unless
one
you're
other
singing.
favor, Lynn, because I was on exactly the same page with that, with the
Yeah.
addition of, I just want to see the crop brought up a little bit from the bottom again, because that because the title said Rainier, but then there's just all this black space. You can lower it down just a little bit from that. You don't have to bring it. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Let me see that.
What about opening the shadows up a little bit more?
No, because then it'll compete with this.
So you
Well,
can put a
can-
mask on the sky,
Yeah.
invert it, and then only bring the shadows up in the foreground.
Yep.
Right.
Would you like to see how to do that?
Which I did, but
Yeah.
not very much.
Yeah, sky. See how good it is with this night sky. It's not great with the night sky. Here you go.
It's still going to be okay.
Yep.
For what you want to do,
Yeah.
it'll still do what you want to do.
I mean, you can pull it up just a little bit. See?
That's not so bad
It works
either.
well. Yeah.
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 Yep.
I have a blue hour shot that I could do like blending in Photoshop. I've just never done it, so I didn't.
And Dan, the best way to make progress on something you've never done is to never do it.
I know. Yeah, I've been making progress on my astro shots since 2018. Crazy.
All right. So let's get her done.
All right. Reset. This one is. This is Lee's.
Jim, you have anything to say about this? Because I think I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lee, are you here?
Yep.
Lee, there's a little bit more on your left-hand side in your composition. I mean, it's. I know that you have more in your original shot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Now you see that bump on the left-hand side, right at the mountaintop edge.
Yep,
Right there. You see where that bump goes up?
I do.
Yeah, that's telling me that there's more there. So you can't leave that bump there. You either give me more or take it away.
Got it.
Also, that crop line goes right through a building on the edge of the frame below that cliff line, and that going right through that white building was, and that's just tweaky stuff.
Yeah.
There you
So
I'm checking my.
But this is this is a beautiful image.
Thank you.
The visual impact is fantastic on this.
all right, now,
That
guys,
level.
I want you to take a look at that left corner that just got cropped out. Okay. You see how that line continues on, right? All right, hit the reset button. That little tiny little bump stops me.
Okay.
And anytime something is stopping you from the edge, like so, then it's not keeping you, and it's telling me, okay, there's more. There should be more there. And you're gonna see that again with a shot coming up of a dog. Similar thing.
There you go. I see it.
This is Lee's as well. Speak.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. There's yep.
That's great.
There's nothing to nitpick on this one from where I'm sitting.
And from where I'm sitting, I saw this shot in National Geographics, and I know that this was stolen.
I enjoy how in the foreground those rocks in the foreground you can see them right into the water, through the reflection under the water, and the tonal range and the contrast in this is beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to tell you, Lee, you went off the rocks for a little while back, a few months ago. You're not only back, but you're in space now. You're on the rockets.
Thank you. Thank you.
The one that blew up today.
No. His is on his way out of this universe. This is really good.
I feel like we should do this assignment every year so we get to look at all these great photos.
Yeah,
people did well with this one.
Yeah, this
I
is
got to give
Diana's.
everybody credit this month.
Yeah, this is Diana's.
And one thing about smooth water is it will show your dust spots.
Oh, crap.
Oh,
There's
Really?
oh yeah.
Well, they're
Go
right
over
there.
to the left and up, Lynn.
Yeah.
This left side. Yeah, go over there. Yeah. Yeah. See?
I,
Look at the hairs, look at the dust specks, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good
And
idea. Yeah.
they are throughout the image through the waterfall. There's
is that what nailed it?
No, not with me. There was something else.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So yeah, whenever you do a long exposure, always zoom
Okay.
in and check the whole thing, because if there's anything there, it's going to show up on there because it's just
Okay.
burning it into the sensor.
I never knew
and
that.
if you go to a high F number on your lens, especially f16, f18, f22, you get up in there, you're going to show everything that sits on your sensor, and we're going to see several more of those coming up.
Oh, wow. Thank
Robert?
you. I never knew that.
Robert?
Yeah.
Robert, what was your criticism?
Why do I have a color shift change in this? I have several color shifts.
I don't
I
know
have
what
a
that
green
means.
and a brown down in the foreground.
That's
I
what
have
it
a
was.
yellow.
That's what it was.
I've had that
I
happen in
don't think
waterfalls
so.
when it's silty, muddy water. I've had that occur too, where you get
Yeah,
browns. And
I didn't
greens
do
and-
anything to that,
Yeah,
Robert.
Yeah,
yeah,
now,
that's
give me subtract the temperature a little bit.
Yeah. Now it looks
Subtract the temperature.
See,
Go
but
the other way. Right, that's what I'm looking more of. I should be getting a little bit more in that foreground where the rocks are. It was just too brown in there. I mean, too warm.
Yeah. Yeah. Some things are not warm.
And
Okay.
Just a tiny little twinge of blue.
yeah, now, I see. I don't mind the coolness over something, but those rocks in the foreground, they are generally in the shade, not that warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're generally a cool.
So we started here. We get out here.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
blue better.
Yeah. This one's also Diana's.
Jim, I'm going to talk over you on this one. Allow me,
go
please.
for it. Go for it.
All right. Now, you see those struts with the lights on them? This is something that we have to pay attention to. You give me lights. First of all, I wish you'd given me more of the bridge, but you gave me lights on one side of the upright, and it's completely black on the other side of
Right.
each of the uprights. So there's no
Right.
separation. You see how the lines go into nothing?
Right.
That's a big flag for me.
How did that happen?
Well, exposure. You made a single shot, didn't you?
Yes.
All right.
Well, it's
So
1 second. It should have been longer.
yeah, and so in order to gather up more information, probably a couple of shots, one for the shadow area and one for the highlights. Your
Mhm.
thoughts, Jim?
Yeah, because that's where I was going to. The blacks are so black that the black has bled right through, two of the sets of support cables on the bridge.
I can pull some of it up, but not much.
Yeah.
Where's this photo taken from?
Wait. So back off 2 seconds, please. Sorry, Brian, didn't mean to interrupt. So I would have had to do a longer shoot on it, or?
Yeah.
Multiple shots, yes. Multiple exposures to combine.
A longer exposure for the top, Diana, and then a shorter one for the bottom. I mean, the
Okay.
bottom is like perfect at 1 second, but it's too short of a time for up here.
Yeah.
There's not
Yeah.
enough light up here. So
Okay.
you've got to give it more time to gather
Yes.
more light.
Got it.
Bracket the exposures and composite the areas to make them match.
Yeah.
Okay. So composite, you mean just do like an HDR?
No,
Yeah.
No.
a composite.
You put
Two
it-
images,
you put it
pieces of two
together,
images.
You put the layers together in Photoshop and erase part and use escape
Robert,
parts
we
and-
need to work on that.
Yeah, compositing is it's easy, but it's easy and hard at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Where was it taken from?
That is a good question, Brian. I couldn't go out and shoot this. This was shot a while ago. My guess is, I don't know.
It looks like that little island that we went to before, Jim. When you go, it's just directly across from there. Remember when we went as a group one time?
It was probably from the side of, I think you was trying to get it from the Bradenton, coming from Bradenton into Tampa, but I don't remember. I'm sorry.
This one is Sylvia's. Is anybody there?
Yeah. Looking at it.
Thought this was a little too dark or too bright. Because this is
Yeah,
what
I
we-
don't disagree with what you just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, Lynn.
Sylvia, you see that?
And it's it's not there to see it. I was just wondering, okay, where it's cut on the left,
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you so much.
right into there.
Thank you.
I'm questioning, why didn't we just get the rest of the water that connects to the wall there, and more of the fort.
Jim, you're not only my friend, you're my man. I was waiting, hoping you would say that.
Yeah, like it's a question of composition in this one as to why was it chopped there.
Yeah.
When you can see it it's complete up to the seawall.
Sylvia, you there?
She's muted right now.
She's on the phone.
Oh,
she's on the phone.
jeez.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I was muted. I apologize.
see, the hand up to the ear is not on the phone, Brian.
No, no, definitely not on the phone. Yes, I had some, because there was that harsh light coming down from that side. It made like a demarcation, and I think rather than trying to do something else with it, I cropped it over. But I agree, it does cut off that.
Oh, okay. You're saying there was a harsh light over there somewhere on that side?
Yes, on that side at the fort, there was a light on a pole, and it was
One of the light poles for the parking lot for the fort?
Yeah, I think so. And anyway, I was trying to deal with that so it didn't make a demarcation line of light through there. But I agree.
Right. Next one.
Thank you, Sylvia. And thank you, Jim.
This
Thank you
one
so
is
much.
Susan's.
This one, Susan?
Yep.
Okay.
Could I see that brought up from the bottom, Lynn? A little more, stop.
Yeah, that's much more effective because then when you have all this down here, you kind of miss this part because you're kind of stuck down here. I like this much better. Yeah. Susan, you're there. What do you think?
I'm here.
You see what you did?
I do.
How much more prominent this part is once you get rid of that bottom part.
Right.
Anything else, guys?
I was
Anybody?
gonna look for something, but it's okay. Go ahead. I mean, no, it's not that. I did a little editing on that particular image, and rather than to slow down the time, I'm gonna go ahead and move ahead, and I'll bring it back up in just a second.
Okay.
All right.
Next one is rods. This one just is a kind of a strange color. I don't think I've ever seen a green sky.
It's kind of a greenish brown. It It depends on how you shoot it. If you're shooting, if you're shooting JPEG, and
Yeah.
depending on how the white balance renders it, I've seen that happen. I don't know if it was shot JPEG or not, but I've seen that happen when people shoot night sky, in JPEG.
I don't know if it would look better like that. I don't know.
It's
I would
light pollution will render that color.
And I definitely would, again, just a little bit of dehaze brings the Milky Way out, or whatever that is. Like, it is part of the Milky Way.
Yeah, it's the Milky Way.
A little more, so that you can actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we don't normally like to use a lot of clarity and dehaze, but when we're doing these shots like this, those two sliders are your friends.
What did we talk about this particular shot?
Yeah, this is Rod's shot. Is Rod here? I don't remember seeing him. Okay.
Let me do a quick screen share, Lynn, if that's okay.
Yeah, I don't see Rod in the participant list.
Okay. You mind if I do that?
Okay, go ahead.
Share. Command tab. Oh yeah, okay. There it is. All right. Let me get out of here. You see this image? Of the rocks?
Yeah.
Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah, we're seeing Susan's image.
Susan. Okay, here's what I wanted you to know. You mentioned something about sky, dramatic sky, or something like that in your description. Is that right?
Yeah.
Approaching storm.
Approaching storm. Okay. One of the things that I found, and one of the reasons I wanted to bring this one up, is because when you give something a title, then things need to lead to that. And in your situation, and again, this is a suggestion. It's not that my words would be all end all. But one of the things that I wanted to emphasize is that these elements can be broken down into several elements that lead to your title. There's that foreground has been darkened. The rocks have been left alone, but the lights here are separating so that we can have that storm be something. So I hope you see where I'm going with this.
So you made changes to this image, Robert?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there have been changes made to this, and you should see a deepening of these tones here.
Right, in the top.
And throughout the entire image. There should be a deepening to it. Let's see. What is it called? Preview. Let's see if I can get the preview.
Just preview off.
No, this is not the right one. But this foreground was very flat. The background was had a little drama in it, so I added drama throughout the entire deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want you to see.
Okay.
And I cropped it from the bottom.
Yeah, not as much as we did. Yeah, not as much as we did, but a little. Yeah, not much because he added this darkness here. Then he didn't have to crop it as much.
Right. So, all right, that's what I want you to see. So I'll stop sharing my screen. And I'm sorry they've taken so long on that one.
That's okay.
Alan, you're up next. Don't worry. Stick around.
All right. Oops. Okay. This one is this one's Sylvia's too.
Sylvia.
Yes.
Jeez, my goodness. Oh,
I didn't want you to think I was on the phone.
That was Brian who thought you were on the phone. Hey, Sylvia, I just like to know. I know it's just taking a little time, but I want to make sure that we get some comments in, at least from my perspective. Your two dominant factors here are going to be your color contrast combination, meaning you have the yellows against the blues, right? Yes. And then they're supported by the greens. You agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree.
Then take out the foreground parking area or stop
Okay,
there.
okay, so you didn't need
And
that.
now we have that those colors are now like popping.
Okay,
Tell me why you gave me that foreground.
Because it was there.
yeah, it was in the picture.
And so was the guy in the back skating.
Well,
But
I will say that the angle on the right side of that, there were so many angles and geometry, and that kind of caught my eye, the way the angle of the wall came around and the other geometric. So I think in my mind at the time, I thought that was helpful, but
wonderful, good. Lynn, go to full screen. Let's have a conversation, a slight conversation about that. Okay, that foreground caught your eye because of the geometry, correct?
Correct.
This is
And
what I'm hearing.
The lines,
geometry.
and the angles on the wall, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now you go to the building itself and you have geometry, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, now here's what I want you to do, Lynn. Go back to regular screen and desaturate the whole friggin' thing. Or, yeah, go to black and white, either way. Okay, now, based on what you said, when you're talking about geometry, I can see where it'll work.
Okay.
But what you introduced was color, and a rich color.
Right.
Now it doesn't work.
I can see that it was competing with the green and the, okay,
Yes.
all right. Thank you.
Diana Cahills.
I'm shutting up on this one.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that moon.
I want
Yes.
a middle third all by itself. The left and the right don't need to be there at all.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim made a question there. Like, tell us about this moon.
Yeah, this is September, either September, I think it was September full moon rising last year. Fires out west threw a bunch of smoke into the upper atmosphere that went all the way across the country. So that was the photo. That's what it looked like when it rose.
Oh. That's when they say blood moon, this is what I think of, not what they normally look like.
Yeah, that's not a blood moon as referred to as a blood moon that happens with an eclipse. The color is very different when it's an eclipse blood moon. That's why I was curious about this. Is that a single exposure or is that a composite?
This is a single exposure, 3.2 seconds. Through my 100-400 telephoto, it says 182 ISO 800. I have other shots at lower shutter speeds that I liked better, but they were below a second, so I didn't send those.
Let me see the and going back to what Brian was saying, those windows on that building on the left side, they don't need to be in this shot. They pull you over to that side of the frame and away from what's actually the interesting part of this image. Those windows over there don't help the composition.
That's the image right there. I don't know if you try to.
Yeah, I did that a bunch of times.
I want it to be right in the center, so like maybe like that. So it's a little bit off. The moon's in the center, but at least the building isn't.
Would you go up on the water? Crop it a little from the bottom?
Yeah, I need that reflection.
Okay.
No,
I didn't mean all the way, but I meant just a little bit, because to me it looks like it's in the center.
You just.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm asking.
Yep. All right. Next. This one's Brian's.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
Will you zoom in to those swirling leaves? Yes. A little more.
Oops.
Now push it over. I was curious. I don't know if you can answer this or not, Brian. As to in the upper left-hand side, the swirling leaves, the highlights and the swirling leaves are so sharp and crisp, and then other areas are so just distorted and blurred looking. But then all of a sudden, there's that really crisp, sharp area of the motion of the leaves.
I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is this was taken with my temporary lens after I broke my $1,000 lens the first day of my trip. So I was using that.
So there's no, there's no processing going on, no brush strokes going on there or anything like that.
I didn't do anything specific to that area. No.
Could it just be sitting there going slow and the water's moving?
No.
No.
Look at where it comes in.
Little thing like there.
Yeah, I've photographed a lot of swirling leaves in pools like that, and never had a shot come out looking like that. It's very strange looking.
This one is Kathy's.
Kathy here?
Yep.
Yes.
Kathy, I need you to talk to me.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to tell you right now, Kathy, I've seen your images, and this one, you did not give me a story. I have no story on this one. Yes, I'm coming down hard on you because you've given me some good, you've given me some okay, but right now you're not giving me a story. So talk to me about this image.
I think I took it for Blue Hour.
See?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in agreement with Robert. I look at this, and my question is, what's the story? Where's the hero?
Yeah, I get it. I had the same problem with it, but I had it, so I submitted it. And sometimes you just shouldn't, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
How long
saying.
have you had that camera that you shot that with?
That was the first. I think that was the first week I had the camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And,
if you're interested, I'll send you a video I made on some customization tricks for that camera.
Wonderful, because I've been playing with it and trying to get it set up, and I won't let my husband touch it. He knows a lot about Fuji.
There's some tricks there's some tricks for that too.
Okay.
That basically unlock some things you wouldn't know were there.
Yeah,
so I'll send you that.
And that'd be great. Thank you.
So don't try to sneak something by me like that again.
I'll try not to.
Yeah.
This is Tom's.
Tom here. Tom's
You
not
want to
here.
go first, Robert?
No, you go ahead and go. I know what I want to kill him on.
I keep seeing all this great stuff that starts in the middle ground, and in the foreground I'd see these two really bright areas, especially that big white circle right there in the foreground that keeps drawing my attention. And I just want to see, Lynn, if you just bring that up and make what's in the middle ground now. Yeah, right there. That's, I just wanted to see what that would look like without that big bright blob as the foreground lead in. You might be able to drop that down a little bit lower. Yeah, there you go. Oops. But yeah, I just, for the foreground lead in, that big bright area in the water is pulling my eye to it, but it doesn't have what the rest of the image has as far as what I want to look at.
Robert.
I'm here now, by the way.
Oh, Tom's here.
Tom.
Watch out, guys.
What up?
What up? And that's going to be my question. Reset it for me, Lynn. Explain yourself, lower left-hand corner.
What's that?
So there's a bunch of signs near where I was that say, don't go off the trail and stay off the slippery rocks. And I was at the limit of my willingness to push So I did my best to get all that stuff out, but yeah, that's why that's there. And I just heard the other comment about the bright
White
spot in the
blob.
bottom right hand corner too. So yeah.
All right, now put the crop back. I mean, take the crop back out. Look at the upper right hand corner.
Okay.
Upper right.
Oh, right.
See the value right there?
Okay.
Look at the left hand corner.
Brighter.
All right.
Upper left.
Yeah.
All right, see the value there? Look at the value in
Okay.
the lower right hand corner now. Now, why is the
All right.
value in the lower left brighter than any one of those values? Okay, don't answer. I'm just gonna drop the mic right here. Boom.
That's why you just get rid of that bright rock like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And now all the values are on the corners are fairly even.
Yeah.
And even that right there is if you burn down, you can leave that that spot that's in the foreground, but like you say, if you just burn that spot down.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Appreciate it.
yeah. There you go, Lynn. Yeah, take the white slider. There you go. There you go. Even that's that's fine.
Don't take a masterpiece and destroy it with poor composition.
Appreciate
That's a great.
Yeah. Just
It is a great looking black and white image.
Yeah.
Can I?
The light is at a really good angle.
Yeah, you could get really crazy and add some more we could add some dehaze and make it, we use a dehaze to haze it.
I would do that locally, right where you burn down that spot, just to add some more texture to that to make it match the surrounding water.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
I really like this picture. In black and white, I guess you could do it in color too, but you can, if you use your eyedropper, there are ranges or zones of brightness that you should stick with things like water and whatever, and they should be in relation to other things. And I'm willing to bet that if you put an eyedropper on that bright water, it's probably almost in the high 240s, 250s. And that's like at the outer limit of the whites in a black and white. And one of the things you can do rather than burn, because burn tends to make everything gray, or if it's a modeled area where you have very bright, not so bright, a little bit less bright, when you burn it, the grays, the slightly darker areas get darker and you get blotches. If you use the histogram and you go to the output slider, not the histogram, but on the bottom below the histogram, it's called the output slider. It works just the opposite way. When you move,
you're talking about in Photoshop, right?
Yeah. When you move your slider to the left, it brings down the whites uniformly, and you can bring it down a whole zone or whatever without getting any blotchy look to it. But you really should.
Yeah. Also, exactly what you're saying. In Photoshop, in Lightroom, you can't do it the way Lynn did it. Yeah. The better way to do it is exactly what you're talking about. You can also do that with the burn tool in Photoshop, and you can limit the range to the highlights, and then it doesn't muddy up the midtones and the darker tones when you're burning, because it will only hit the highlights.
I'm lazy. I found that I found that if you use the output slider, though, it'll affect everything, and then you can just create a mask and brush in what you want. I'm not great at burning and dodging and all that kind of good stuff, and I got lazy and I found the output slider. But either way, the highlights, especially in water, shouldn't be any higher than like 205 in that area, and I'm willing to bet that's probably 250 or was 250 originally. But anyway,
and if you want to be lazy, the burn tool restricted to highlights is actually less work because you don't have to make a mask.
Hey, Dom / team, I'd be really interested in an education night where you guys talk about color grading black and white images, because I've noticed your photos really, I find the way you do it is really attractive. So just throwing that out there. I'd be really interested in that if that ever comes to a.
I agree. I think that's a great idea, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll second that. That would be really interesting. And I would learn
I
a lot.
vote.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the eyedropper and all that. So, yeah, Dom, I've just noticed yours are like really consistent, and I've thought, man, how do you do that? And so I'd love to learn from you on that.
It's not hard. It's just that I'm anal retentive about making sure that things are in relation to each other. You know,
Hey, I'll spend an hour listening to you be obsessive. It's fun.
because I love the rocks, the darkness, and you know, the dark. Red back. That to me is all perfect. It's just that white area that just driving me out of my mind.
Yeah.
Dom.
Yes.
Dom, we have we can put you on the schedule because we have where the members present. And we've had it in the past where members will spend a night, an education night, and present. And maybe that's something that you could talk about as far as your black and white and those particular types of things, and spend 30 to 45 minutes presenting.
That's fine.
Didn't we have an opening in September for education?
Hey, guys, let's talk about this later. We're getting late here.
That's fine. I have no problem with that.
We'll move it. We'll put it on this. I'll put it on the list. Let's move on though to the next image, please.
And thank you for what you just did to that, Lynn. Yep, you nailed it.
See where it was like here, like.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I want to put my sunglasses on when I look at that original one.
I'm doing it kind of over the whole image, which is not the best thing. Probably the better way to do this would be to do a. Well, no, because all the whites are all kind of blown out. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, what you did was fine. That really saved that, because again, this is a very nice composition, a very nice black and white. I say it was just some blinding high end values in there.
Yeah, I think I would maybe make the shadows a little darker here and put a little bit more dark here and there. But yeah, this and FYI, my monitor just was calibrated yesterday, so it should be spot on in terms of the the light and dark and lights and darks. So
also, Tom, be careful of your composition on the right hand side upper. Yeah, right in that area on the edge. It's kind
Okay,
of
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I need a little bit more room on the right hand side.
What do you mean?
Your cutoff is a bit abrupt.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, right there. It needs a little bit more breathing room.
There was probably a sign right there.
Somebody.
Hey, that's what the new remove tool in Photoshop is going to be for.
Yeah.
This was mine.
I was begging for just a little bit more sky above the building.
And Brian, I cannot believe twice in 2 years that you and I have agreed.
I was going to say I'm in agreement with Brian again.
Okay.
Jeez.
Damn, the planets must be aligned.
Jeez. All right, more sky.
When is it Brian's turn to judge?
Yeah, he's getting better at this.
This is Brian's. I think there's too much mud.
Try bringing it up to where it just about touches in the left corner, but leave a little room. Yeah. But you can bring it down. Yeah, a little more. Bring it up.
More up or down?
Down. A little more. Right. Yeah, like there. Let's see that. That's not bad.
All right, now take a gradient from that lower, from the bottom, a gradient.
Yeah.
And just run it, right along that line, and then just take the values down just a little bit.
I took them down a lot.
Right, well, you didn't take them down more.
Yeah, because it's very distracting from all this beautiful bridge.
Yeah, okay. I kind of felt like that part of the image made it fairly unique, I mean, it compared to a lot of
Okay, Brian, take that word out of your lexicon there. I do not want to hear the word unique. I want to hear something that says this is Brian's, not something that's unique.
Yeah, like the,
Well, he did title it Low Tide, so technically we are supposed to look at that dry sand in the foreground.
We do see it. we do see it, but you gave me all these rich colors in the bridge though, and the light in the bridge. So I see the tide, I see the water, I see the colors, and I can even take this whole thing down even more as far as the exposure is concerned, so that the colors become even richer.
Right.
Give me the exposure down just slightly, because I want
yeah,
that
the
sky to
problem
go.
is the whites are blown out because there's
Yeah,
no,
that's okay. I want the sky to go a little bit richer,
there you
so
go.
that we can see that the texture in the foreground, and then we can see that the bridge is giving us a guide with the light, and that the sky itself has the more richer, saturated, darker colors in them. Hit your before and after, and you'll see that what I'm saying is at least somewhat palatable.
All right, so you're saying give focus on the beautiful bridge and not so much on the yucky mud.
No, it's not so much as the yucky mud, is that you have a main character here, and then you have a supporting cast, and then you have your stage. Your stage is the sky and the foreground. Supporting cast becomes the texture of the mud and the low tide, but your hero is and your main character is that light in the bridge.
Okay.
And so what you're doing is you gave you gave everybody the stage with everybody having light on it.
Yep. Okay, that's why I'm a member of this club.
I thought it was because you did something bad. This was your punishment.
This one is Chris Margay.
Chris, where do you want me to go with this?
Around the corner. I want to know where he's turning into, because it doesn't look like there's a street there.
Yeah, Chris, I'm not sure it's what you want me to see here. I saw Chris here earlier.
No, I'm still here. There actually is a street there. It's kind of, I guess the buildings across the street kind of blur together as they were going together. It was more just kind of playing with the long exposure and the light and everything. And I liked the way that in this particular shot that, you know, it wasn't just a straight line of the lights of the cars. It was making the turn around into that side street. That some of the lights were continuous, and because the car was making the turn and it had its turn signal on, that you kind of had the broken light as it was moving along with that turn signal.
Now, Chris, you just gave me a narrative, okay?
Yep.
Thank you, Lynn, because you took away all the things that had nothing to do with what you said.
Okay. Yep.
You see the difference?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely taking in from the right side there. You need to bring in from the top as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris.
Yes, sir.
When you tell a story, just like you did just out loud, you see that those moves that she made only mimic what it was you said.
Yep. I was listening. I need to get rid of that little bitty white flower right there in the corner.
To avoid the Curtis effect.
Yeah. So now go ahead.
I have a question, because I see here, okay, you can just see it at the end of the right hand side now where it's making that, you know, it's making the turn and turning up into a side street, as you mentioned. Is this the only location you shot this scene from? Did you move around and shoot it from different angles?
I shot several different locations, but not different angles on this particular location.
Yeah, I was just curious. You know, you're to the side street that you're talking about, you're to the left of it and kind of pointed back at it at maybe like a 45 degree angle. I was just curious how different this would look if you walked, to the right of this scene up the street.
Almost shooting down
and
that
then,
street.
And then reversed, like a 45 degree angle the other way. And then you would actually see the entire sweep of the cars turning and going up into there. It would be a very different thing. You would see much more of the curve and much more of the turn of the light from reversing this angle from further to the right. Just curious if you had tried that or not.
Nope.
All right, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris, I need you to invest in some walkie-talkies.
Tell the drivers what to do.
Yes. So as you're moving to the left and right, you can tell the guy to go around the block several times.
Just keep driving around and around.
Okay,
that was great. Can you do it again from a different angle?
Slow down just a little bit. All right.
Thank you all.
This one is Nona.
I'm here.
Nona's here.
Nona, how much do you like me?
I'll like you and Lynn a whole lot better if I get till midnight in Denver versus 10 o'clock.
Are you headed to Denver tonight?
I live in Denver.
Oh, you mean you get to bed?
No, you have a online. I have to have my images in by midnight East Coast time, which is 10 o'clock. Okay. So I said, I'll like you a lot better if I get till midnight Denver time.
Okay, I understand.
Because I was working on this image and I felt like I needed to do more with it, but I was on a time crunch, so I hit the send button.
Okay, now then talk to me real quickly about what you would have done differently.
I would have added more contrast, first of all.
Now let's run the contrast up and let's see what we get, okay? You said that?
Yeah, and I would have taken down the brightness of the lights a little bit more.
Uh-huh. Okay, and I know we're just doing a general overall, and you would have tweaked it, but then tell me more.
I might have added a little bit of a vignette.
A little bit of a vignette. I'll go to effects at the bottom and then add a small vignette to it. Yeah,
but
right
I was in the process of playing with the new remove object tool, and I removed a bunch of the posts that didn't have lights.
Okay, now
so I wasn't really finished with this image, but I said, okay.
Go ahead and hit the F key for me. Now, let me ask you something. Nona, would you do me a favor and take lunch 2 hours earlier while you're in Denver?
I was playing golf and I didn't get home till late, and I had like 2 hours to send in my images.
You skip holes number 7 and 9.
No.
Hey Nona, you had a whole month, my dear.
No, I didn't. My schedule's crazy.
So Nona.
Yeah. Find
2 hours somewhere and do these things, because what you have just done, just on a quick deal, is 1,000 times, I don't mean 50 times, 1,000 times different than what you turned in.
Okay, well, can I get till 12 o'clock Denver time?
I would like to see what Photoshop would do to that light in the middle of.
Oh my God! Thank you for bringing that up, Brian. That's driving me nuts. That is so distracting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna take down, but I figured, okay, well, my images aren't gonna count unless I get them in.
Yeah, this would be really tough because of what it's doing and where it's. I mean, the new remove tool would probably do a fairly decent job of it. It's got AI in it, but yeah, that's a tough one because of where it is. Because the if it was like up here, no problem. or down here, no
Yeah.
problem. But because of what you've got going on behind it, you could probably do it, but it would take some time. And the point of the new remove tool is it's supposed to be a lot quicker than anything else we do. There's something else
Right.
going on up here in the corners. I'm not sure what this is. You see this? It
What's
almost looks
that?
like a reflection. And there's one over here as well too. I'm not sure what these are. It's like something, it's got a dot in it. It's weird.
No, there shouldn't be any dots. I don't see any
Yeah.
dots on my end.
Not seeing it on my screen, Lynn.
I don't see it on my end either.
Oh, yes, it may be. I don't know. Maybe yeah, it's gone now. It must be from when I increased it on the size on my screen. Then never mind.
It was, okay, so it was a resolution artifact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
The
big
other
ones I
thought-
made, yeah.
The
Yeah.
thought that I had
Those of
about
you
the
that-
light in the middle.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, the thought I had about the light in the middle, yeah, I wanted to take it down, but I didn't feel that I should remove it totally because of the light that's hitting the water, then
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been accurate.
Now, no, I'm so glad you said that. I am so glad you said that. Because now I know that you better believe the next time we'll all know.
That's what it looked like if you cropped the whole left side and got rid of the light.
Since that pier is a repeating pattern, you could have just moved a section of that pier over the light and slightly darken the area that it's lighting in the water, and you wouldn't have detected it.
Well, I was waiting for sunrise and I was in a specific position to get the sun coming up, and the sun really never came up and didn't give me the sunrise that I went there for. So anyway, I'm sure you've all experienced
We've
that.
all been there, that's for sure.
Okay.
Let's do this one. This one
This
is
is
known
also
as well.
yours?
I'm gonna jump in on this and point out that if you don't want symmetry, go far enough off symmetry to make it obvious that you're not doing symmetry. And if you're going for symmetry with architectural stuff, you can't miss by a little bit. You've got to nail it.
Yeah.
This is missed by
it's
a little
off.
bit.
Yeah, you see the difference between here and here and here and here. There is just this one.
And look at the look at the support beam on the second set of columns. Notice how it intersects on one side but does not intersect on the other. See that?
Oh, so I was standing in the wrong place is what you're saying.
Yeah, you need.
Yeah, I'm saying if you're in architectural stuff like this,
Okay.
being a little bit off symmetry is bothersome to the viewer to see. You have to either nail the symmetry dead on or go far enough off to make it obvious that it's intentional that you're not being symmetrical.
Okay, I agree with that. I thought you were gonna get upset with me because I put the image in the middle, but that was my vision and I said, screw the
No,
rules.
no problem with it being in the middle on this one.
Okay.
It's very appropriate for this one to be in the middle. And like I say, that's part of the whole putting this in the middle. This is symmetry. You've got this fantastic tunnel effect that goes bullseye. Once in a while, we say you avoid the bullseye stuff, but once in a while the bullseye is it. This is one of those exceptions where the bullseye is appropriate, and it's just missed the bullseye by just that much.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a secret about it. You see how Jim likes his symmetry that to the point where if you miss it, you miss it by a lot, and he will hit you for it. I'm the same way when it comes to tangents. I will hit you up.
Yeah,
So
tangents are a thing as well. You betcha.
Okay.
And especially in architectural stuff, tangents are a big deal.
So
What's a tangent?
That's what we both look for.
Things running into each other.
Okay.
It's how things touch each other or don't touch
I know
each
all
other.
about that. I do it with my animals all the time. Thanks. That's what I thought.
This one's mine.
That is an amazing set of leading lines, top and bottom everywhere.
This is beautiful. I think it's
This
gorgeous.
place was everywhere I went in Milwaukee.
Lynn, don't talk. It's beautiful. Move on.
Okay.
No, Lynn, I was just kidding.
Hey, it's getting late. I'm okay with
I
it.
know. I just said it's beautiful.
There are so many lines that lead you to that point on the horizon there, where it happens to be that there's a mountain there. That's like, it's almost like a visual vacuum that just sucks you
Yeah.
across this image
yeah.
to that point.
And it was doing the exact same thing on over to the right as well, which was insane. I mean,
Well,
it was crazy. This sky
here's
was
what I want
crazy.
you guys to know from at least from my perspective. You hear me talk about this quite a bit and you people say I nailed them on something. When you have a leading line, give me a payoff.
Mhm.
And this pays off big time.
This is Grandview over in the Canyonlands National Park.
Wonderful.
Grandview overlook.
And great time of the morning.
We had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get here to do
And
this.
well worth it. The light is beautiful.
Thank you. This one is
Fongs. Fong, was this on a tripod? Was your camera on a tripod?
Yes, on tripod.
Then why did you shoot it at ISO 1400 and have so much noise in this image?
you should have gone for longer time and lower ISO.
I put auto ISO. They did this. So
you put it on auto ISO.
Yeah,
and let
ISO.
take control of your camera. You be the boss.
Okay.
She doesn't like to be the boss.
Click on the left side in the blue area of the sky above the lights, right there, down there. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about?
Look at all that noise.
That, as I said, if you're on a tripod, ISO 1400 had, you had no business being at ISO 1400 on a tripod.
Okay.
Let's see if this new.
New.
It doesn't like JPEGs.
And I find that it takes a long time to process.
Yeah, it's for RAW files, not for JPEGs.
Yeah, this is the latest new thing in Lightroom, guys. This noise
the AI
reduction
noise
is called
reduction.
the noise AI, but it only works on RAW files. So.
And it's really fast. It's a lot faster.
I did a raw file.
But is there any reason to use it if you actually have denoise?
Well, you use
Adobe's trying to go ahead and put it in there for you so that you don't have to, go to a competitor's product.
Yeah.
The DxO still works better.
Has anybody compared them yet? Topaz.
Yes,
By the
DxO.
way, next time, so maybe use manual, then use bracketing do better, right?
Oh my God.
But in
Use
manual, yeah.
bracketing, do couple
Bracketing.
file. Yeah. So I miss. So what is score about this picture? Could you?
I think mostly just the noise.
Yeah, it's just the noise mostly.
Noise.
Too much noise.
I said that what score this picture? I didn't catch.
The score.
Oh, the score.
Yeah.
What is the score on this one? 23.6.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, this new. I've tried the problem with the noise in Lightroom is you have very little control.
Okay.
If you use the Topaz denoise AI, you have a lot more control.
You have and you have multiple algorithms, algorithm models to choose from instead of just one.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the difference between Topaz and this. I mean,
Lynn,
yeah.
Lynn, if I could interject, show us that place where you have the denoise on your screen.
It's in the sharpen in the
Yeah,
sharpen.
right. Now look right below it.
Yeah.
You can do it manually.
Yeah, but again, it's still not nearly as effective as Topaz.
Right.
And that's you've got the manual single algorithm, and that's not AI. And
okay.
I could explain a whole lot more about this, but we don't have time.
Okay.
There's so much happening right now. It's crazy how much stuff is changing right now. So This one is Chris's.
Chris? Is this Chris's image?
Chris Marigay, yeah.
Chris?
You scared him away after you told him to move his camera to another place in the town. This one needs some red. What,
Yeah,
guys, speak.
it's very monochromatic and flat. Even though it's color, it's a very flat looking image.
Is anybody else bothered by that tree right in the middle?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You've lightened it up some.
No, just
No,
get
you
rid
just
of
need to
it.
get rid of it. It
Get
doesn't need to
rid
be in
of
the
it.
shot.
It does, and the one on the right doesn't belong there either.
You see.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be that
No,
hard.
no. Here's the problem with you, Diana. Here is the problem. I told you this once before. You don't even trust your own judgment. Every time you come in here and you say, "Hey, is anybody else bothered by it?" The heck yeah, we're bothered by it. It's just that when you say it, it's true. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying that you are better judged than you realize.
Mm-hmm.
My other comment on this photo is it happens to be a 1 second exposure, but there's nothing about the photo that really benefits.
And Brian, here you are again being very correct in what you're saying. You
are
guys
exactly
are way
right,
better at this stuff than you realize.
Yeah, that was my impression too. There's nothing that indicates that that was a slow shutter.
And the clouds are not moving, and there's nothing there to indicate that. So yes, when you guys judge, speak up just like you're doing, Diana. You're right.
I know, but you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
This ain't about hurting feelings. This is about getting things across. You got grown folk in here. Nobody's in here in the 4th grade.
I am.
Okay, except one.
Okay, guys, did you see what I did briefly there with a brush?
Yeah.
Yeah. That gives it a little bit. I mean, I just did a real quick down and dirty job, but just lightening up some of those and then darkening some of the other spots. And all I'm doing is lightening and darkening where they're already light and dark, just making them more prominent. And that gives it a little bit more punch.
And a little bit more dimensionality because the lighting and everything is so flat. Everything that should have texture in this image, the texture does not come through. It's a flattened, it's a very flat look texture wise of something that does have texture, and you've helped that. You've helped bring out some of the texture back out of the image.
Wouldn't you go to Robert's favorite calibration and mess around down there too?
I already did.
She did.
I wasn't watching it completely, but yeah.
I mean, it's a little too blue down here for me. I mean, I would like to make this thing actually more orange.
Yeah, that's part of that. When I was talking about it, being monochromatic looking, the whole thing has a blue, the blue tint, goes right through the whole thing. Wow, look at that.
Then I would go to the sky.
Yeah.
What about a little dehaze?
Yeah, that's where I'm going right now. I just want to do it on the sky though. Where did you go, dehaze? And he moved all this stuff around.
No, it's back. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a little bit much, but
Yeah, it's too much.
this is they added the new version also has adjust in the masks now, guys. Curves is new in the mask.
Say that again.
They added
Curves new.
The curves.
So I think they're adding all of this to Lightroom because they're going to get rid of the Lightroom Photoshop combined subscription.
I don't know, maybe.
That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's
By
possible.
conspiracy, I mean business pricing.
I mean, there we go. That's still a little weirdly colored, but
yeah, tone down the blue saturation now. Go to the HSL and back off on the blue saturation.
Oops, there we go.
There you go, down there. Yep.
There. So now that not as much blue in here. It's still a little. The sky is still a little on the bright side, but Chris, do you
But
see what we did?
It's picked up a lot more dimensionality from what it was. Just do click that before after. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we gave it a little more punch and a little more. It still needs a lot of work, and the trees are a problem. But yeah, this is another one. The geological stuff is just, it's something that you cannot just do a quick image on. It is something you have to work on. Every one of the ones that I've shown you, one I did earlier, it's in the general, I probably spent at least an hour working on it. So
we also have a slight focus point there, but we'll focus point problem.
Okay, this one is
Lourdes.
This is Lourdes's.
All right, do something for me, Lynn.
Yeah.
Go to the tone curve. Yeah, you're almost there. You up, other way, up to the tone curve.
Oh.
You stopped, brought it in. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
I've moved it around.
There, right there. There it is. Go to those sliders at the bottom. Go to those. Yeah, there you go. Take the one that says blacks. Well, take the one that says darks and move it left. Ah, yeah, there you go. Take the one that says lights and move it a little bit to the right. There you go. Just want to see that.
Oh, would you,
Jim?
Jim,
The darks back up a little bit. It was a little too heavy, but yeah, there you go.
can you give them an explanation as to why you went to the tone curve as opposed to going anywhere else?
It's not used a lot by a lot of people, and I wanted people to see that it's there and what you could do with it. It's kind of a teaching example why I went there, but I go there a lot. You can it affects things differently than if you go up to the exposure panel and mess around with the sliders up there. It uses mathematically different formulas on the pixels than up there, and I just suggest that you do some work with that tone curve on some images and get familiar with what it does, and eventually you come to a point where well, I want to go to the tone curve and use those sliders, or I want to go to the exposure panel and use those sliders, because they use different algorithms to affect the pixels with what you want to do.
Man, the stuff you get here at TBCC, I swear it's just,
and like I said,
you can't pay for this stuff.
They just added it. They are now in the masks as well. So you got it in, so you can use the tone curve on just, one
in a masked area.
Yeah, on one
Can
mask.
you show that? Because I don't understand that.
Which is a fantastic. That's going to be a fantastic tool to be using to have that on a mask.
Show me how that works, please, Lynn.
You don't have the sliders here, or do we? No, we don't. You can
actually let me do that with you, Diana.
Okay.
On a separate thing.
Sorry.
Okay.
No worries.
See, that's just affecting the sky.
So,
got it.
Because I want to be able to present this on a different night to everybody.
Okay.
So we're talking about that kind of stuff.
Okay. So what else is that? All you guys wanted to do on this one?
The boat in the front bothered me that it was blurry.
But
I
it's
know
moving.
that it was huh?
It's moving. It's in the water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I didn't catch that.
It's 13 seconds, Diana. I'm surprised these are as focused as they are.
Okay, that's exactly, you just highlighted my point. That Lynn, that's exactly what I couldn't understand.
Because these are big boats and this is a small boat. And it's going to move around a lot more than the little boat, the big boats.
It wasn't a criticism. I just was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I feel that works in this image, that that is blurred like that. That's part of the appeal of this image to me.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Do you ever use the zones in the masking area?
I don't. Robert?
The zones?
Yeah, I have them loaded in like zones 1 through 7, 1 through 10. And when you hit the masking, you can hit each zone in a black and white individually and adjust it. I was just wondering.
Is that a preset or plugin you purchased?
It's a plugin.
that you purchased.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I was gonna
okay,
say
that
that
makes sense.
I've never seen that in the actual, you know, unadulterated Lightroom.
Now, I will give you this one thing about what you're asking. The answer is you can do the same thing using the linear, is it a light? What is it? Linear light? And go to your
Luminance.
mask. Go to your mask. Go to go up to the mask, and then go down to plus and about luminous range. Range. Yeah. Luminous range is the same as zone system.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at it, it looks like the zone system right here.
Right. And same thing as blend if inside of Photoshop. So what you're doing is you're getting tones from that are divided up from 0 to 100.
Right.
And you divide them by 10, and then you have each of your zones.
Yeah.
Another thing to work on, Robert.
Yeah.
There's always more.
Yeah.
This one is also Lourdes's.
And I'll say this first. I've seen this location photographed many times. I've seen a million photographs of this location, but this is one of the definitely one of the better compositions of this particular spot that I've seen. But now go ahead and go to the curve and take that dark slider and push it. Go to the tone curve now. Take the dark slider and push it a little to the right for me. Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you.
And you know they've blocked off most of this now, Jim. You can't get down by the water at all. It's all blocked off.
Haven't been there in a
Yeah,
long time.
I
Didn't
was
know
like,
that.
I guess people were, I don't know what they were doing, but they blocked it all off. You can't get down along there. We used to go down, you know, to the right and get down on right. Even with the water, you can't even get down there anymore.
Yeah, I know this is shot from the upper, from the upper area, and I've seen a million shots. I've seen a million shots of this from up there, but I will say the composition of this is very nice and not like all the other million photographs I've seen of this spot that all look the same.
Is Lourdes still alive?
What spot is that?
It's the Rapids at
The Rapids Hillsborough River State Park.
Hillsborough State Park.
Oh, I've never been.
What state park?
Hillsborough River.
Oh, okay. I never heard of it. Okay, never heard of it. Thanks.
Okay, Lourdes is not alive. Okay.
She's had a long day. This one is Lee Wynn.
I hope Lee Wynn. I wish Lee Wynn was here.
She's on another one of her trips.
Send her a sensor cleaning swab, please. Go down, lower left. Lower left, go down in the water, lower left, keep going. Oh yeah, bingo.
Yeah, there's a big old.
There's a couple down there. There's a couple big. There's a couple of great big ones down there. Yeah.
Only non-humans would ever notice.
Yep. Totally went by me.
Quick fix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a gorgeous image, and then to have something so obvious missed, and she's done that. She does that repeatedly. She sends in so many beautiful images with great big dirt spots.
She's too busy traveling to worry about her sensor. I clean my sensor before every trip, and then probably at least once during each trip too. So, and when I get home. All right, let's set that back and go to the next one. This one is this is Jim Hagen's.
Jim Hagen around? No.
Yeah, he's there. I see him.
I'm sorry, whose is this?
I don't think this is Jim
That's
Hagen.
Jim Hagen's.
I'm sorry, this is Jan's. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right, you said it was Jim. Sorry.
Here.
Okay.
I'm, trying to get done, so like skipping further along than I should be. Yeah, this is Jan's. Say something, anything.
I love the contrast in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yep. Yeah, I got drawn right into this one and really enjoyed it. The white surf breaking at the bottom, and then also what makes that white surf breaking at the bottom work and not just be something that is by itself in that value, sort of, is going up those pilings. There's also a light area in the pilings above that. So you've got, throughout this image, you've got bands, you've got dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. You've got these, this transition of banding of dark light, dark light, dark light that happens because of that has visual appeal for me.
This,
Jack in
this
here?
one, this was not does not have symmetry either. It's off as well. Yeah.
Is Jack in here?
Jack is here, was here.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack's still here.
Jack, I'm not mispronouncing this word, but you've heard of the term chiaroscuro?
Chiaroscuro.
That's what this is.
That's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Chiaroscuro.
Can I go away?
You can go away now.
I'm going to mute it.
Where is that, Jack?
Jack didn't
This
shoot
is
this.
Jan's image. This is probably up north somewhere. She lived in Michigan before, I think.
Oh, okay.
It just we just knew Jack could probably pronounce it better than anybody else.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
This one is Kathy's.
The grass in the front there is a distraction to me.
Is Kathy here?
Yeah.
Kathy, you have, hold on just a second.
Time for a drink.
All of your entire photographs, the entire photograph have the same tonality.
Yeah, so I
You need
just,
to break that up.
a little
So
bit
is
of
this
contrast helps it a little bit.
Is this more about the foreground or the background?
Yes.
Which one?
Yes. Well, I was doing the pond and I love that fog in the back, down in the bottom of the pasture. So that's why I took the photograph.
No,
at the particular
I'm with
time.
you on that, but I'm asking, is this more about the foreground or if it's more about the background? Which one? Because on the stage now you have a main character, then you have the supporting cast, and then you have the stage. So
Okay,
in
well,
this,
I guess the front is the main character and the background is the supporting cast.
all right, now in this case, I'm going to ask you, even though it's not normal, Lynn, start your gradient from the middle and go up. Go up higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Now go up. Okay. Now in this case, I want you to bring the foreground down, the exposure down, so that it's a little richer.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Now, you see how we've just separated this photograph?
Right.
So that they don't have the same value. So I brought the richness up front so that you can stay there for a moment and then go to the lighter back.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
You know what?
Uh-uh.
I don't know why I am on this earth just to make sure I correct all you people to, come here and just make your images so much better.
But
It's
that's
the
why
frog
it's
in the foreground, the lower left, that actually, I'm glad you said the foreground instead of the background. Because we
Okay.
now see that there's a separation. I can now look in the front and then go to the back.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And my paycheck address is 7606 Lineberry Court.
So I should send these to you before I submit them and then we can fix them all up.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Just send the checks, and then when it comes to critique, then I'll make sure that your score is a little bit higher than normal.
Did you see what I did? I just took out that smaller one.
I
That
think you
helps
did.
a lot.
you took out the smaller what?
the smaller
grass.
smaller grass. Yeah.
Okay,
And that I didn't do a very good job, but that helps.
okay.
Because it's a little too distracting. If you got rid of this one, then you'd have a little bit too much, I think, water, just
Yeah.
water.
Yeah,
But yeah, the little one was kind of in the way. And then I think I would also brighten up this frog.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, pop a little light on the frog and make
Okay.
make him more a little more prominent.
Here we
And the
can
reason why
try.
you're doing that is you're establishing a point of start, where to start. So by saying, hey, I want you to notice this little front. You're gonna notice this little area, but there's something over here that's catching my eye because it's got a little bit of
Oh,
light
okay.
on it.
Yeah.
And So now I'm now moving around the photograph and just looking at the entire photograph. And I will tell you this, when you separate your photographs into tonalities and or color contrast, you'll find that your audience will stay in the photograph more than if they have to look at a flat image that does not have very much dimension to it.
Did you see what I did there, Kathy? I used the object mask.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then when you do the object mask, you just paint over it, and the AI picks out the object. It does a pretty good job of it most of the time. So
Well, I use Capture One, so
use
I
Capture
can
One.
still
Okay.
mask and pick that out. Yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
moving on to the next one.
Oh my goodness.
This is rods again. I think it's a little dark down here. Right?
I defer to you, Jim. Is that darkness helping or hurting?
I want to see Lynn open it up and see.
Depends on what's there.
Yeah, it depends on what's there because
Yeah, it's dark.
I didn't have
yeah.
Once Lynn said that, my thought was, well, let's see, but I didn't actually have a problem with it initially, personally.
I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
Because that held me. That being dark held me to the other areas that are light, that tree and the Milky Way, and my eyes I just jump back and forth between the tree and the Milky Way, and I come in from the left side where it's bright, and then follow up the tree and up to the Milky Way, and being dark down there doesn't pull my eye into that corner where there's nothing going on anyway.
Yeah, just needed a little bit of.
I come in from the lower left where it's light, I follow up the tree, I go to the Milky Way, and I'm good with that.
I'm just making it just a little bluer. It's not so brown, but yeah. And then I again use more clarity and dehaze and enhances the Milky Way cloud. Jim McWilliams looks like he was on drugs when he did this one.
This is a composite, right?
Yes.
It's marked as altered reality, ICM composite. Yep, absolutely.
Now this I go to the layering here. Give me dark in the foreground, then a little bit of light in the midground, then and darkness in the sky. So to separate out the tones.
Yeah.
You're saying it's good or bad?
No, I'm saying that the tones need to be separated. It's very flat in there. They're all running together.
Yeah,
I didn't see that on.
You can just do it with a big brush or gradients, but like Robert was saying, just darken the water in the foreground, brighten the whole middle patch where the skyline is, and then darken the top of the sky. Just a great big fat brush would do it real quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Now,
there you go.
Now, take that brush and then invert it. Same one, same deal. Click on that. Click on the brush and then duplicate and invert it, and then bring the values down. There we go.
Well, it is a jump in place, isn't it?
Yep.
Jumping.
Yeah. Jumping jack. So you're just giving dimension to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
This one's Lee Wins as well. I don't see any spots on this one.
I didn't see any spots in that one.
That's pretty. It's very pretty.
I just love the way she held the oranges and yellows in that sky, that sunset.
Yep. Nice lead from the foreground to the background.
And if you guys didn't catch what I was saying earlier, you have that yellow in the background, that warm tone, and you have that coolness in the foreground. So those colors are subtly playing off of each other, which is holding your interest.
You see the orange kind of comes around here. It kind of comes around here, and
it gets cooler in those
and
areas.
Yep. Complementary colors.
Yes.
This one-
Okay, this is the
I
one
have
I
a-
wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I have a huge question about this one. I think Robert has the same question I do.
I do. Go ahead, Jim.
The question is, it shows this as being a 43-second long exposure. How in the world is that is that is that sailboard guy, frozen in motion in a 43-second long exposure?
That's a very simple answer. That's two exposure.
Of course. Of course.
Of course, and it wasn't indicated as such in the title.
All right, so the real deal here is that this is probably the 144K photo that unfortunately, I was having a lot of problems with my Creative Cloud, and it was giving me nightmares. But when I turned this in, I noticed that the resolution was only, or the size was only 144K. The real one is 6.8 meg. But I accidentally turned in the wrong ones. They were very, very small.
I didn't have any problem. I didn't have any problem with the resolution. I was just like, okay, this is a long exposure landscape, and I looked at the metadata. And I'm like, yeah, holy cow, 43 seconds long, and look at that sailboarder that's frozen in instant motion in that long exposure landscape.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was actually going to make him like a 2-second exposure on him to make a lot of motion and then put him in. But when I took this photo, he was just a yellow nothing, because of 43 seconds. So I took another one and, unfortunately froze him. No biggie.
I would like to hear a comment on the composition, because to me, having two, it's basically a plain image with two subjects, and one's all the way on the right and the other way is all the way on to the left. It's kind of exhausting to look at it for me.
That's a compositional technique called visual tension, where you go back and forth between two things. And in this case, it's actually very well done. They're both on the horizon line, and the horizon line is what takes you back and forth between the two elements of visual tension.
Okay.
I think the composition is spot on as far as being within that realm.
Yeah, that's cool. I just was very disappointed. It's not a very high resolution.
Jim Hagan.
And
Don't worry about it.
and even if I'll say this, had you marked it AI, that would have made it clear. Yeah, okay, that the guy's composited into the long exposure landscape. However, this also harkens back to what was brought up about another image, that in any case there's still nothing about it that indicates or shows or benefits from it being a long exposure. This could have easily been a 1/90th of a second exposure, or whatever. There's you don't look at this and distinguish it as being a long exposure.
Unfortunately, Monday Night Quarterbacking, I looked at this and said, I probably could have done it in 5 seconds.
or a 15th of a second, or a whatever.
The requirement was 1 second or greater.
Yep, and it met the requirement. But visually nothing in there that shows that the requirement was met for any artistic purpose.
Yeah, no problem. Completely agree.
Oh, this one's Karen's. Karen's down in the Caribbean.
Yeah, she's in St. Thomas, I think she said.
I assume
Karen
this
needs to
is.
shoot more images like this.
Say that again.
Karen needs to shoot like this.
Yeah, this is more like ICM.
Yeah. It's
exposure. I mean,
but it's not.
30 seconds. It can't be an ICM that way. This must be, I don't know what. Maybe things were moving. I don't know.
She was shooting through something.
It's water. It's a reflection on water in a 30-second exposure, and that's the motion of the water over 30 seconds, and it's a reflection on water.
What the heck?
So she's
it's just stuff reflecting in water, and it's 30-second time exposure, so the water gives it this this impressionist oil paint effect, which is beautiful.
Now this one, not so much.
Yeah. I was just thinking, what if,
Do something for me. Not that. Well, I mean, you can do that,
We're just trying to
but
see,
do something else for me. That's too tight on the top of the chairs, and revert your crop. Yeah. Now, just take a remove tool and remove that thing in the upper right-hand corner, that piece of shoreline, and turn it all into water up there.
oh, this?
Yes, remove that and turn it all into water. That, it's not much, but it's something to help. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you pulled that one piece of
Yeah, I know.
yeah. There's a better way of doing that, but
That's better.
but
great.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get at least take that thing out of the corner, regardless.
And these little biggies here bugging me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
And what about those 2 tree limbs in the water? That really bugged me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what
Yeah, the fact that they intersect right into the arms of the chairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, Diana. Absolutely.
Yep.
It disturbed the smoothness of the water. The one thing that gave the picture met the assignment
She's
got messed up with the stick.
She's got some dust on her.
You are so Diana. I am so happy with all the interactive commentary from everybody tonight.
One more thing. I want you to crop right here.
All right.
All right, crop. Start on the right hand side, right hand middle. Come in. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Past the 2 chairs. Past them. All right. Come up to the chair arm.
Huh?
Yeah, right there. And come from the bottom up. And now we have a brand new shot that looks like something like the one she had before.
Yeah. Yes, it's crazy stuff we can do like that. Okay.
Yes.
Next is
the previous photo. I just realized the previous photo was taken from the same spot. You see those 2 tree trunks reflecting in the water?
Yeah. Oh,
Go
yeah.
back one.
Yep.
That was all.
That's what I was saying. The 2 on that crop on the left, it's a continuation of that.
Yep. This one is Susan's. And it's 10 o'clock, guys, and we still haven't done it all.
I know.
All right. We got 70 images. We've never had this many.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion to entertain, and that is Thursday, being that we don't have a meeting scheduled, could we do the general critiques on Thursday?
That would be awesome. I'm fading fast.
You want to stop here and then finish everything up on Thursday?
Yeah.
Well, we could finish if we don't have too many more. We could finish these and just do the generals on Thursday.
We have
Or-
5 more.
Yeah, I agree. Let's finish the assigned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think I have another meeting on Thursday.
Well,
okay.
we'll record it. We'll record it.
The only comment that I have on that is I'm heading up to Pittsburgh and I won't make that, but the Vader or the Darth photo that I turned in, again, Jim knows this guy was very good and it was really clear, but unfortunately that's another one of those very low resolution photos that the guy, I did not do the guy justice turning in a low resolution.
Oops.
This is fucking nuts.
Okay, let's finish up these 5 guys and then we'll do the other 3. I was hoping to have a Thursday night off, but that's not going to happen. So
and again, this one goes to what we were talking about with a couple other images where yes, it meets the requirement of being longer than 1 second exposure, but there's no artistic benefit in this image from having done that.
you understand that, Susan?
Got it.
Did you get that?
Got it.
Got it? Okay.
Got it.
Oops. This one is Jim McWilliam.
Bring that up full screen just for a second so I can talk about it, Lynn.
Okay.
Just so people can see. The two things I wanted to point out on this, that right on the right hand side of the image, that piece stuck right, well, yeah, you're kind of, yeah, there you go, right there, Lynn, on the right hand side of the image. There's something stuck on the right hand side of the image.
Yep.
You're almost hitting it with your cursor.
That's what I'm trying to
But-
go over it. Oop, I'm circling it.
But but the other thing I wanted to point out in this is just about everything in this is very organic in nature. Very natural. Even the fence posts are old wooden stick fence posts and things like that. And then in the distance, in the right hand side, there's a radio tower. And it's just so out of place to have that, modern steel metal radio tower with all this other, organic and natural stuff, in this image. I would definitely make that go away.
So if I had just cropped in from the right about an inch or so, hey, there you go.
Hey, Lynn, put that crop between those trees. Don't crop into that tree.
Well, I was trying to avoid the tower.
There you go. There you go. And bring the bottom up a little bit. There's a lot of just kind of boring foreground there. Bring it up like halfway to the fence at least. That's better.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
That's better. This one's Jack's. He has enough sky above his building. The same building.
There's enough sky, but Jack, on your Bank of America building.
Yeah.
Look at the top of that building. See how it fades into the darkness?
Yes.
I'm not the Bank of America, the other one. I'm
The other
sorry.
one, right hand side.
Regions.
To the right of, go to the
No,
top
keep
of
going.
that.
Yeah.
Go to the top and see that right up there at the top of that building. It fades right into the black fades right into the sky.
Right. All those antennae up there.
No, it's not the antenna. It's the top of the building.
By the way, I'm the guy that put those antennas up there.
Up there.
I put those antennas there. Well, like I said, those are probably 4 or 5 generations of replacements that, from being blown up by lightning over the years. So they're probably not the actual original antennas that I put there.
So,
but what is your comment about that, Robert?
Take the blacks, right now, just take the blacks and open up the shadows and reduce the blacks, and you'll see what I'm
had there been more exposure so that the sky would be brighter, you would have all the separation of the buildings. But there
it is. There you see you see where the building has a line now?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. In the original shot, had the exposure actually even been longer, the sky would have gotten lighter, in the exposure. There you go. And the lighter sky from a longer exposure would then give separation from the buildings, and they wouldn't bleed into the black sky.
So you needed more sky. You needed more
lighter sky.
Lighter sky.
Lighter sky.
Lighter sky, but
lighter sky.
Lighter sky.
Oh, okay. By the way, Jim, that's pixel shifting.
Oh, that's a pixel shift shot?
Yeah, that's a pixel shift shot.
Okay.
That's a Fuji
the
thing.
The details is incredible.
Well, that's well, no, that's not just a Fuji thing. Every brand of camera right now has pixel shift except Canon and Nikon.
Of course.
Every other brand of camera has had it, some of them for years, but Canon and Nikon are the only 2 brands of camera that currently don't have pixel shift.
Sony has it, so yes, you're right.
Yeah, but you can see into the office and get detail. You can see a lot of detail in those offices.
Yeah. I saw that guy on the toilet on the 14th floor.
Yeah, really close.
He needs to close that toilet door.
Yeah, man.
And the other guy needs to let the seat down.
You noticed that, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
This one's Valerie's. I don't know if we've got Valerie left.
I'm here.
Valerie still here?
Valerie, thanks for sticking with us. I need you to pay attention to your skies.
It's really blown out.
And looked like it was going to rain.
Yeah, so sometimes you can make different exposures, but you have something really nice going on in the foreground. I just need you to pay attention, just like we've been saying about all 3 layers of the foreground, midground, and background. So you can make exposures for each one of those.
Yeah, I still can't get Lightroom. I still can't figure it out. And I was having a tough time with it and needed to get it in because I've been so busy. So I got on it and I was looking for all the stuff. I can never find it. I don't know where to go. It's just very
Valerie, I offered it up. I said, call me. I give you a little bit of time. I've already offered it to you.
Yeah, the biggest problem here is you couldn't help this one because this whole area right here, Valerie, is blown out. It's not even, there's no data there, so you can't even fix it.
Yeah, well, it was
see on the histogram here, there's nothing over here up against the right-hand side. That means you've got this white, that means there's no data there. So it was very overexposed. So you couldn't even fix this. Yeah. So yeah, you've got, I mean, this is dead, I'd say about right there. And if you had, a decent sky, if the sky wasn't blown out, then you would have been able to, cut it out a little contrast to this. You could work with this. Yeah, but your sky is just, it's way overexposed. So remember when you're shooting to expose for your highlights. So expose for the sky. This will be dark. But as long as you have the data up here, you can work with this underneath the dark stuff. Okay.
Valerie, know that I will work with you.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know it was a brand new filter Jim Hagan sent me, and I was just trying to work on it.
Blame Jim. Go ahead and blame Jim.
Blame Jim.
There you go. Valerie, I'm in your corner. Blame him.
I was trying to figure out how to use it, and he had told me how to use it, and it was just very difficult for a very first time. This is what I came up with. So I didn't have a day to do it. So I did what I could.
No, just understand that you have help here.
Yep. Yeah, we can help you.
And he's good. He taught me.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry.
Where's Barry?
Yes, sir.
There's Barry. This is a lot of visual impact. The composition of those arching trees, everything over that. My question is, was there any possible way you could have gotten the foreground headstone completely in the shot instead of chopped through the middle?
Unfortunately, no, I couldn't. If I backed up,
you couldn't tilt the camera down.
No, this is already with a 9mm ultra wide linear lens, and I would have cut off the top of that arch of the tree that I kind of wanted to get. So
just 2 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 shots and put them together.
Stitch them.
Top to bottom. 2 shots. And yeah, he doesn't. Do you use Lightroom, Barry?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, because Lightroom you can actually do a panorama. Basically it's a panorama. You're going to use 2 shots.
You can just stitch 2 shots.
Top to and it actually will unwarp it for you. So,
and
Nice.
Jim, you didn't read the caption on that headstone, did you? Here lies Jackson. He was decapitated.
I mean, it's obviously a very wide angle lens because everything is very bent in.
Which gives it a cool look.
Yeah, it looks very creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Barry, in all seriousness, you nailed the title, the concept of it, the etherealness of it. You did all of those things. But you decapitated that living guy, that dead guy.
You kind of
Got it.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I guess if I had just gone lower, it probably would have worked, right?
Yeah, you can shut.
No, that's what I said. Even just a lower camera tilt, because that the top, I think I would have much rather seen the entire headstone and a little bit less of the tree than the other way around. More of the tree and less.
Right.
I may have headstone.
Lower down to the ground. Put the camera down, lower, and point up. you could have gotten all of it, I think.
I think that would have worked. Yeah.
With
yeah.
a 9
Yeah, this was
millimeter,
tough because this camera doesn't have an EVF, and I was working on the back screen, and it was really difficult to see.
Oh, trying to see your image in the first place on the back
I'm
screen
shooting
with the
straight into
glare.
this, shooting straight into the sun.
Yeah.
This is of course an infrared. It's like an IR 950 millimeter filter, so it's got like 10 stops of of darkness in it.
I have an extremely bad back, and I use Sony an AR2, which doesn't have an articulating back, and I like to get down as low as possible. There's a company called Seagull, Seagull. They're on Amazon. They make an L viewfinder that just if you remove the eyepiece off of the camera, they have various eyepieces for different brands, and then this thing just slips into it, so you can look down. You don't have to get down on your knees. You just have to get down low enough so you can look down into the viewfinder.
Yeah, it's like a periscope viewfinder. I have two. I have two of them actually.
They work great, especially if you have
I have one that actually has a dial on it. You dial it up, and it gives you 2x magnification through the viewfinder.
probably the same one. Yep.
Yeah, the other camera I have, the M6 Mark II, I've got a tilting finder, which works great. But this particular one, the M200, doesn't have an electronic viewfinder at all. It's just got the tilting back.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, so this wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But there's and yeah, have you ever seen the loops that we all used to use on DSLRs to chimp our pictures?
Don't use it.
Oh, I used to have one of those. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Find whatever drawer you stuck it in and dig it back out.
All right, guys.
I gotta go. I'm dead.
Yeah.
When
Thank you, everyone.
when is the Thursday meeting, please? What Thursday?
Next Thursday.
Okay, thank you. Good night, everybody.
We normally have had an education night next Thursday. I'll send an announcement that we're going to do that because we didn't get to do all the generals. And we'll record it so that if you can't make it next Thursday, then it'll still be available to watch.
Night,
Don't
night.
forget Sunday. This
Good
was
night,
very
everyone.
educational, great experience.
Sunday.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Bye, John Boy.
Bye.
Night.